Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to our YouTube channel, A.O.S Academy's YouTube channel. Here we talk about everything related to language studies, exam preparations, and even Canada immigration. Today, we are continuing with our session, the Talk with A.O.S session, which talks about the topic we have for today. For those of you that have actually been following us, you know that through this session, we have series of questions we actually answer with A.O.S session. And today is not going to be different. We are going to be talking about one question that was asked by one of our attendees, the attendee for the JAPA to Canada in 2023 webinar series. The webinar was actually hosted last year, December, but we had about 90 plus questions that were asked before the session, during the session, and even after the session. So as a result of that, we couldn't respond to all those questions at that particular time. We had to just even create this session, this Q&A session, this talk with A.O.S series in order to make justice or do justice to them. So without wasting much of our time, today we want to start with the question for today. And this question is very, very synonymous to the questions that lots of workers, I mean, when I'm talking about workers, I'm talking about skilled workers, international workers, foreign workers actually ask when it comes to working with a particular agency or working with even themselves or with their colleagues, their friends and family. So this question was asked, as I said, by Mr. Michael Adesoji Oriowo, and he asked how to secure a job with sponsorship visa to Canada. So if we look at that particular question, basically what it's trying to ask is how can one get a job, you understand, a Canadian job that actually provides visa sponsorship. And in fact, this is a very good question because a lot of people who want to quote and unquote JAPA would have similar questions. In other words, today we want to respond to that particular question. Now, firstly, I would like to say that there are a lot of visa sponsorship opportunities that Canadian government, Canadian job or employers provide for skilled workers. And when I'm talking about skilled workers, I'm not only limited or limiting myself to people that are quote and unquote high skilled workers. We are talking about people that are low skilled workers, medium and even high skilled workers. Let me bring a kind of differentiation to that. When you are low skilled, for instance, in the context of Canada immigration, then perhaps maybe you are a driver. These kind of occupations require less of formal education. Do you understand? It doesn't really require formal education. Neither does it even require a lot of vocational trainings. Do you understand? A tailor, an hairdresser, barber may require vocational trainings, but as a driver, you just need a couple of, you understand, days or weeks of training, and you get the hands of, or you understand, driving already, or maybe cleaning. It doesn't really have require you to go to a vocational training institute or to learn from, you understand, maybe an expert in cleaning, or it doesn't really require that. That's a low skilled work. Do you understand? But a medium skilled work is a kind of work that you require some certain amount of vocational training, like a mechanic, you understand, like a plumber. You require some certain amount of, it may be months of, you understand, training, it may be years of training that you may require in that field. And when we're now talking about the high skilled work, the high skilled work are actually meant for people that are in, say to speak, degree occupations, in other words, or diploma occupations. These are people that, for instance, they have a certain degree, maybe like a bachelor's degree in linguistics. Do you understand? So you know that this kind of person is a scientist in relation to languages. People that go to schools, maybe colleges, polytechnics, or universities to study a certain amount of, you understand, courses and programs for earning degrees or diplomas are people that would be later called high skilled workers because they have a kind of degree to show for it. So there are a lot of jobs that you could get that would provide you with visa sponsorship in those three different types of jobs: the low skilled job, the medium skilled job, or the high skilled job. So, that being said, if we want to talk about how to get visa sponsorship for Canadian jobs, we need to talk about those three different, you understand, the types of jobs that you could get. But if we are to give a kind of process or step by step guide on how you could get visa sponsorships for Canadian jobs, then firstly, I would state that the very first thing you need to focus on is that you need to research job opportunities. Do you understand? Research job opportunities. That's the very first thing you really need to take cognizance of. And how will you research job opportunities? Well, firstly, a lot of people would just go online. Do you understand? And they would check different job vacancies on websites of companies, or even job vacancies on job portals. When I'm talking about job portals, like ca.indeed.com is a particular job portal. Monster.com is a particular job portal. Even LinkedIn as well is also a particular job portal. So there are series of jobs that are always posted in all these what do they call it, in all these job portals, and mostly they always have filters that would write or that would state that they have visa sponsorship attached to that particular job. So if you are going on, particularly maybe Indeed, for instance, you have to check the filter section to see the one you filter by perhaps location. Firstly, if you are searching for jobs that are in Canada, you also look for the filter that relates to visa sponsorship, the one whereby the employer is willing to actually give you visa sponsorship. We even have other streamlined job portals that are particularly for Canada. Indeed, for instance, Monster and what they call it now, that of LinkedIn, is not really attached or related to Canada. It's on a broad range. It covers a lot of countries, a lot of continents. But if you are looking for specific job portals, for instance, if you are a nanny or a caregiver, we have the Canadian nanny.ca. That is a potential what they call it, job portal you could go to in order to get visa sponsorship jobs. Likewise, we also even have the, say to speak, um the job portal for people that want to go into technology. Do you understand? And are looking for Canadian jobs. So we have the Meet a Developer or meetawebdeveloper.com website. We have even the meetaprogrammer.com website. Most of them are related to Canada themselves. Do you understand? And all the Meet a Professional series websites are also there for even people that are carpenters, people that are chefs, people that are electricians, people that are accountants. So you can actually see it. I would paste it on the chat section for you to, all those links, for you to go through those links. You can go on each of those links and check jobs that require or that allows you to get visa sponsorship. You understand? Through their portals. Now, apart from the very first thing that you have to research job opportunities, I would say the second step you need to go through is to update your resume. And when I'm talking about updating your resume, I'm talking about you looking at your, for instance, Nigerian CV and optimizing it for the purpose of Canadian job search. Do you understand? And this is very important because a lot of professionals will still be using the Nigerian standard CV for Canadian resumes. It doesn't work. Do you understand? It doesn't work. What you need to do is that, first of all, find out what are the templates or what are the samples. And funny enough, I go online and I see a lot of funny template samples that even websites would provide, stating that they are Canadian approved resumes. And the funny thing is that they are not. Do you understand? How you could get it is simple. If, for instance, you have a Canadian family member or a friend, someone that is already in Canada as a student, as a permanent resident, as a temporary resident, you can ask them about their own CVs, collect their own resumes. And they don't even call it CVs in Canada, they call it resumes. So if you want to know someone that really knows the nuances of this, if he's calling it CV, you may probably think the person doesn't even know what he's saying, or he's not having a very good resume. So it is a resume, they call it resume in Canada, and you could check the resume of that your family member or that your friend to ascertain the kind of level or the kind of template they approve of. You having a kind of fancy resume, maybe with different colors, different sizes of fonts, different things like that, may not necessarily be that required, may not be approved standards of resume. We, for instance, at A.O.S Academy, we have actually helped series of people to get their Nigerian CVs, their local CVs established or developed to the Canadian approved resume. So you can actually reach out to us to assist you in developing your Canadian approved resume. Now, apart from that, the next thing is you need to network. People always shun this area of seeking jobs, and it's very important. You need to connect with people in your desired industry. For instance, if you are a developer, a web developer, you can't be searching for jobs in areas or in job portals that are not streamlined. You have to search for jobs and also even attend events in a bid to network. And it's not necessary for you to even be in Canada already before you network. The world has gone global. It's a virtual, you understand? It's a virtual community now. You can always reach out to people, reach out to organizations, associations. For instance, we have some associations like High Joined, which is Blacks in Tech Foundation. This is a foundation that has presence in Nigeria, in Lagos, in Ilorin, in different localities in Nigeria, and also in Canada. So you could join such foundations in order to get access to professionals that are in Canada themselves. You could join organizations. If you're a data scientist like me, you can join Association of Data Scientists. You can join, you understand, the Royal Statistical Society in the UK. You would see that those organizations, societies, and communities always have presence in first world countries like Canada. And as a result of that, some of them even have job desks, job boards on their website where you could go and see, you understand, streamlined job offers that are meant for the members of those particular organizations. And as a result of that, if you are part of that organization, you as well will be getting a kind of insider job vacancy that you'll be able to apply for. You'll be giving audience to come through an interview process, and you never know, you could also get, you understand, employed through that way. A lot of us have actually tried that. You understand, Blacks in Technology Foundation is a very good organization. You could also join to actually get opportunities, and there are a lot. We can't mention all of them at once. Now, apart from that, you could also, the fourth step to getting a job that has visa sponsorship is for you to apply definitely to relevant job openings. But I want to crave your indulgence in something. You can be a master of a lot of things. You can have skills and expertise in a lot of things. Do you understand? As a result, don't just stick to one resume, one type of resume. Don't just because, for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I was a web developer at the point, developing my own company website. Do you understand? Now I've moved into data science. And even before web development, I was into language teaching. I was teaching people languages. So one resume cannot fit all those, you understand, all those titles. In other words, I have about 3 to 4 different resumes for my different roles in the different organizations or even the different positions I have actually held in my career. So you may need to think through what you are going to do while you are applying that. Okay, you need to have a web developer's resume for Canada, which is Canadian approved. You need to also have a resume for data science. You need to also have a resume. And as you are having resumes for different posts you have filled, you also need to have different cover letters. Do you understand? Available that you would use in seeking job opportunities. If, for instance, you are skilled in web development, you are skilled in data science, you are skilled in, you understand, language teaching as a language teacher. So as a result of that, you don't mind getting employed in any of those roles. Do you understand that? So that's very, very important. While you are applying, always include cover letters to explain your interest in working in Canada and to explain the need for visa sponsorship. That, okay, for instance, if an employer is willing to employ you now, you would be willing to allow that employer to actually sponsor your visa to Canada. Now, the fifth step that I would say you need to go through if you want to get that visa sponsorship is you need to actually prepare for your interview. So if you have sent your resume, you have sent your cover letter. You can't just, you understand, rest on your petals. Even at the process of writing your cover letter, you need to research the company, research the values and the cultures of that company, and research, be prepared to answer questions. And that will take us back to your networking. If you have networked, for instance, with people that are working in that community, that are working in that company already, you could learn from them that, okay, for instance, if I'm to fill a role as a web developer in your company, what are the things that I need to know? You understand? Your website, for instance, can I actually improve it? You could actually bring a kind of audit of the website that, okay, you saw that this area of their website is very good, this one still need work on, and you can even, for instance, try to propose solutions, do you understand, before the interview, so that during the interview you will know what to say, you will know how to pitch your, you understand, pitch your skills and expertise in solving that company's problem. So another thing which I would say is the sixth step is that you need to follow up after the interview. Don't just, one of, okay, take for instance, in our own organization, one of the criteria, we used to pick our virtual assistants while we were conducting the recruitment process, even though there were still perhaps one or two other people much more qualified than her, is because she followed up. Do you understand? So after the interview, you have to follow up with recruiters and you have to ask about the status of your application. Don't just leave it that, okay, because I've applied, do you understand, then they must give me that job. There's no must. Every employer, for instance, even a Nigerian employer, like, you understand, some of us are, you understand, we get tens of CVs, tens of resumes, tens of applications per day. If we apply, if we put a vacancy out, we could get people sending their applications that are not even in Nigeria, that are experts in all other countries. Do you understand? That are people that are willing to work for even peanuts more than what you would actually collect. So as a result of that, you need to show that interest, that yes, you are willing to work with them, you are willing to, you understand, put yourself out there, and you are eager to get that work done for that company. Oh, Hafizu Muhammad, thank you very much. You greeted me. Hi, bro. If you have any question, you can drop it on the comment section, Mr. Hafizu or Miss Hafizu Muhammad. I would dutifully respond to it. So I talked about the sixth step. The last step I would tell you is that you have to be persistent. Do you understand? Persistent in the fact that as you are applying for those jobs, as you are trying to get jobs that will give you visa sponsorship, try to be patient, one, and try to be consistent in your job search. You understand, visa sponsorship takes time. Even we as an, you understand, as A.O.S Academy, A.O.S Canada IRC, the immigration representative company we have, we don't just easily get visa sponsorship for clients. It does take a while if you really want that sponsorship. So as a result of that, you need to be persistent enough to require a an employer, a Canadian employer, to give you that sponsorship. You need to be persistent enough to always reach out to them, not to spam them. I have to tell you that, but to make sure that you are being heard, you are being listened to, and your emails and everything that you give them prior to getting that job, you understand, is A plus. Do you understand? So if, for instance, you give them an audit of their website, if you're a web developer, you need to develop something that they feel that they couldn't get anywhere else apart from with you. You understand? Apart from the one that you actually provided. So I hope that 7 step to get a visa sponsorship was really helpful to you. If you really enjoyed it, then like this video, share with your friends and family, and also subscribe to this YouTube channel. Lastly, it is important for you to check the visa requirements and the eligibility criteria for each type of visa to ensure you are eligible to work in Canada, because there are some employers that will not give you visa sponsorship if you are not eligible or ready to work in Canada. And there are some that would give you if you are a foreigner, but you have to be particular about the criteria and the requirements so that you don't just continue chasing, you understand, breeze. You do just continue chasing what you can't get. Be particular about the criteria and the requirements. If the requirement states that you have to be in Canada before you can get visa sponsorship, that could be possible. An employer may be looking for someone that just came through study permit to Canada and want to help that student, that international student, to move from international student visa, the study permit, to what? To permanent residency. So you need to be particular that which particular kind of applicant is this company expecting to give visa sponsorship to, so that you just don't continue chasing the wind. So thank you once again. If you enjoyed this channel, once again, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and share with your friends and family who are in the process of getting visa sponsorship, and also reach out to us again, because we are having this Q&A session almost every day by 3 p.m. We have some series of Q&A sessions that have been lined up from now till February 28, 2023. So if you really want to learn more about all these questions, get your questions answered, always come back again to this channel, same time, same, and I'm talking about 3 p.m. West African time now, West African time. So thank you very much. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and share with your friends, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.